Hello.
Hello.
Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to Plot, and today, us from the Noble Knight Discord, we're going to be going over how we did in the Deck Discord tournament that was run recently. Here with me today, I'm Beef, I own the Discord, obviously, and with me is...
Me, I'm
Falchion.
Alex, or also 858.
Hi, Alex.
Let's introduce Falchion there. Hi.
Hi, I'm Falchion. I'm actually recording this right now.
Hi, Falchion.
Hello.
Wyatt guy. Hey, yo.
And I'm Bricks. I made the overly long YouTube guide that no one has watched in its entirety, and I have the stats to prove it.
Oh my god,
Oh, no.
that's wonderful. So we want to go over just how the rounds went, guys, and what rounds we had.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
let's do it. Spoilers: we were completely undefeated in Swiss.
It was a 5-round tournament, and then rounds top 8 cut, which we got knocked out of, unfortunately.
Alas,
But we still learned a lot. The tournament ran over the course of 6 weeks, which by the time the tournament had ended, we had all upgraded our builds outside the event many times, often using what we learned in the tournament. So,
Yeah, so whose build is this one? That's
That is mine.
Falchion's.
My build.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it's yours because you're not running Odclair.
Yep.
You
That
tell
was...
it's old because we're still
Oh,
running
no.
Roland and one Ogier.
Not running Horticlair was terrible.
Yeah.
Horticlair
Seriously,
with
fine
Gallatin
matchup.
and Clarent is just too good. Obviously I don't run a Sulfur. This was a very early build. To make this
We're all
build,
favored.
I basically copied Brix's build. And
Don't
then,
pin that shit on me, man.
and then took Alex's advice. And then this catastrophe.
just dogging everyone out on you.
It's everyone's fault but my
I'm the
own.
reason I didn't play Horticlair, to be clear.
I was gonna say, like, because for all of us, we were on the Flame Noble Knights, like, pretty much from the get-go, and you came into this where we essentially roped you into the team for the tournament. And you were like, I don't know how to play the deck, and we just said, so learn it. Like, this is,
You
like,
hadn't,
the
that's
deck
right. You hadn't touched the
had-
Flame Noble Knights yet.
Yeah, and so, like, you had, like, less than a week crash course where, like, you were, like, looking at all
Three
that
cards
deck
at you.
lists, you threw this together, and were like, I think this works, and we were like, are you sure?
And he was like, no, but I'll do it anyways.
In his defense, I mean, we were still very much refining ratios and plays at the time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't think he was alone in being on the no Hawkclair. Like, Hawkclair and Joyous both, a lot of people were against running for a while.
I
think,
wasn't.
like,
Those cards are great.
Claire was one that I only really sold myself on when I saw Mystic Mine was in the matchup list. Like,
Yeah,
we can out it now. We don't have to
Spoilers.
deal with this.
you figured that one out. But we'll get to that when we talk to Mystic Mine. I
Yeah,
guess
we'll get more into that.
Show the next list.
Yeah.
The next list. This is Brix's, I
Brix's,
think.
right?
No, that's not mine. I was
That's
still on
mine.
Red Layers for
That's
the tournament.
my list.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty
like-
sure that's my list.
What's
Yeah, because I'm not running Dark Ruler no more on the side.
we all did have very we all had the same extra deck because we had the Firebrax combo pointed out to us.
Yeah, we have the
What
same
about-
extra deck.
And I think, like, main deck wise, mine was. Actually, how was mine compared to yours, Alex? Because I think, like, I had little Roland in.
a little Roland as well. That's my one there at the end.
You had Bedwear and only one Shades.
Yes.
I think that's where our deck.
Alex and
was
his weird obsession with one shade. My God.
I keep trying to get 3 in there, and I keep having to cut it.
Yep.
The cards win. What else is unique about yours, Wade?
I think, like, the only real thing, I think Brick wasn't running Little Roland as well, and I really liked having Little Roland in there at that point.
We're all running Roland to start with, and now it's just not there.
Not me. I hate that card.
I really liked it for the quick effect, because what I was worried about going into this was, like, Called by the Grave on Big Roland or DD Crow or something, because that would have just, I felt like that was gonna stuff up the Charles Pops a lot. So I got little Roland, search it off as old so that I was guaranteed to have something.
As well, it meant you could turn Durendal to 500 accuracy, which meant you could then use it for the Alt Clear and Decay.
Yeah, I think the only other difference in my deck to yours is that I wasn't running Dark Ruler no more in the side deck, which I really
Oh
should have
man,
did.
that
So we have-
was
That
painful.
would have made so many things easier for me in the long run. But
Gonna look at mine then, because mine's similar to yours.
Yeah, Alex next.
Brooks is a bit different, but because like for mine, like you can still see things like we still play the 3 once again. We still play Little Roland. Like it was like now let's just stop doing that. Like we weren't playing with Stolfo. I was the only one playing Bedweir at this point though, but like I don't know. I think it took. I had to convince people that Bedweir equipping for noble arms to your opponent's monsters is hilarious, especially with Claire.
I'm still not convinced. If we get another thing I want in, Bedweir's going out.
That's fair. Like there's so many little utility options you can play in this deck that it's just like picking and choosing based on the format and preference, basically.
And I think Bedweir was something that I only really came around to like towards the end of like before Flame Noble Knights. So like after the last YCS we played, where you sold me on Bedweir, and I found a way to put it in, and then we got everything else, and I just couldn't find the space for it.
Another thing that I'm not happy about this list is I'm playing 2 Glory, like a fool.
I was gonna say 2 Glory.
Yeah, like that's just it's like halfway through like round 1, I was like, man, I need this. What am I doing with my life? Oh mine, my searcher for my searcher, that should be in. Especially when we had like especially with the matchups where I was like, I really do need Alt Clear out the Mystic Mine now. Like I sure wish I had increased consistency to it.
Even like just searching a Gallatin to beat over a card is good.
Like window or
And,
Exactly.
affects the Destiny, the Silver Ghost Dagger. It's just utility has gone up so much from it.
I'm so glad we can like justify running Glory now. Can it please get a foil print so I can get these shitty rares out of my deck?
Please. Let's look at Brix's list.
One more list. My list. I mean, no, don't show that abomination. It's awful. Okay.
Red Layer, look at you. What are you playing Red Layer?
So the big thing, even like I never thought Red Layer was better than Die. I just didn't know what to cut just to fit the 4th card in.
Yet you're playing Yvonne.
Well, Ivan at the time we still liked, but he, by the end of it, I think it was by round 2, Ivan had been dropped from my list.
The complete Xenolot to Noble Knights. Too contrary to the Fibrax play.
It's more just he's a competing normal summon in a deck that has enough good ones. Like especially now that we're on 3 Ogier. Like 3 that's the same reason Brothers went down to 2.
Brothers is down to 2 as well.
You see I still got 3 of the trap in there.
So much has changed from the start.
The level 5 Knights, which I've dropped both of those.
Yeah, all of us are playing both
because at the time I wasn't convinced I would ever buy Lightning Storms in real life. I was still running the 3 1-ups in the side deck. Yeah, that's right, Geki, bitch.
By the way.
It's okay. I will be buying Lightning Storms. I sold a lot of cards in the last 2 weeks, so.
A lot of this probably doesn't make sense to be watching, but like we'll explain stuff as we go on, and we intend, of course, to like make more stuff on this channel to explain Noble Knight stuff.
Yep.
So summarize our
round
round.
1. Yeah.
Round 1.
Gene Raider, how do you guys feel about this matchup? Because
how's the tournament structured first? Like it was 5 rounds of Swiss, and each round you play against a different deck Discord. So we played against Generator, and then we picked 3 people each round to play against them.
Yeah.
And Beef was not a player, so he was our manager.
I've had papers.
He was manager and coach. Mason, he's the guy we yelled at to go talk to the staff for us. So
His moral support.
Yeah, exactly. I make the sandwiches and the orange slices between each round.
That's right. Gets the Gatorade.
Yeah.
Drives there and picks us up afterwards.
and later we will show how our lists have updated over the time. So
yeah.
But yeah, so we started to get back to your question. We started with Generator. I will say I was not aware of their newer combos with Dingirsu. It seems there are very few, even tangentially link two related decks that aren't benefiting from that stupid thing.
Want to start with your replay then?
Yeah, I think I played first in that round anyway. No, you did, Alex. You played first.
Oh, I played last, didn't I?
Yeah, no, Alex played last. Brick, you were first. Then it was Falsh.
Well,
and
Then
then-
Falk, that's right.
Just in terms of this matchup, though, we really went into it thinking it would be just easy clap. I blame Bricks for that for the most part, but it was not. It was
They have found some real consistency buffs to that
Yeah.
deck.
Turns out Tricking of All Calamities is a good card.
I know. Who would have thought one card VFDs is good?
Not bad,
Right.
Though I gotta say, we did have a pretty good way around it.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I
Well,
think game one is when he drops 2 VFDs on me, and then I just like buckle. I think.
And just shout pause if you need to pause it.
Nah, I talk fast. Have you watched my replays? So this is the Girsu combo I was mentioning earlier. It's basically a 1-card combo. It's funny because this is their equivalent of our 5X combo.
Yeah.
Not quite as successful, but pretty dang close. I like the Trishula fusion right there.
What's his set cards?
So I'm going to.
What does he do? Chain.
So
Interesting.
Boss fight is still-
Boss Fight is a really good card for them.
Metaverse is better.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
So
yeah.
for those who don't know how Generator Field Spell works, and the archetype as a whole, in essence, it forces the opponent to draw, which sounds like a terrible thing. You can keep playing while I'm talking. It sounds like a terrible mechanic, but when your opponent draws cards, it triggers the Field Spell, which summons both a monster and a bunch of tokens, and the monsters use other generators to field their effects, and they've got Pops, Revival, Searching, and Disruption.
So he just nukes your board there on your turn.
Yep.
Like his board looks like it sucked. It was just a Chiller fusion and then he passed it. Yeah.
And now we get to the fun thing, VFD.
Yay.
But they were
Everyone
always,
sounds excited.
they were always going light, I think, with it, and like they explained because it was he wanted to play around Nibiru enough. That ended up playing in our favor. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, I think it just kills you here, but
Yeah, he makes the second one, and because the first one runs out of material, and I'm like, okay, he's out. I've survived. Nope, makes the second one. I think I more or less scoop. I don't think I kept in it.
I think our opponents were had more varied deck lists. Like our deck lists were quite similar.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy
Yeah,
was playing
there it is.
three. This guy was playing 3 calamities. There, like his other teammates playing 1, and
So having lost the game, we go into the next game with me being able to go first.
so you don't really get to see much of what we do in that.
This hand was shit, but he is going to lightning storm my back row.
If anyone doesn't know what the trap card does, it's the best card in our deck.
And as I recall, I don't actually get far because he Nibiru. Or no, he ashes me and then Nibiru's move, and I play through. As I recall, that's right. So he's going to ash the Boar's Resolve, I believe.
It's
You
always
don't
a
need.
scary
You've got
moment
your
for
trap
me.
cards in the graveyard.
Yep. So we're going to go into a king, attempt to pop. And he's going to do his tribute to get rid of that, which was intentional. That lets me float up. Yet another king. He's going to drop the rock. Fossil in hand is good. And now you're going to see the 5X combo, which is the bread and butter of our consistency. We can recur off just the soul, basically.
It means the deck can play through Isolde being negated. It means it can play like it's just an Isolde resolve. It's such a boon for consistency. The deck is basically trying to get to Charlemagne here first turn every turn, do wacky stuff from there.
And I think it's just such a big advantage over some of the other decks. Having such a consistent way to access 2 extra deck starters is just insane, in my opinion.
But let's start. Oh, there we go. Then just the amount of searches you get with 5-racks and whatnot is just it's like 5-racks into rolling for another search in the end phase. Like you get like 3 searches by the time you start your turn 3.
And against this generator deck, Charles is just like really, really good. It just pops the field spell. If they try to activate it,
Yep.
They
So
can't
he
really
used
control
Live
it.
to clear it. but he can't go far enough to capitalize on that momentum. And at this point, you can see my hand size. I have everything I could possibly need to really. I even still have my Nadir token.
Tribute summon.
I think Gearfried down as well.
Summoned Gearfried as well.
Tribute summon Gearfried.
Nothing like more big chin energy than Isolde Sen 9, except maybe Tribute Summon Gearfried.
Yeah.
I think you lose this match.
That one he just tributed is the new level 4 they got in Eternity Code. That is one half of what makes them so that he actually does make BFD again this turn, or this turn.
With this though, there can only be one.
Yeah, that's pretty killer. I believe this was I lost this round. I think this was the round I lost.
Yeah.
I know this is one of these games where like Amities versus Dright or Boars comes up.
During a trap there.
Yeah, well. And that's why we cut it down to 2. Well, it's one of the reasons we cut it to 2.
It's not looking spectacular for you here at the moment.
It's okay. My performance to the tournament gets much better. Wait till you see me next round. It's amazing.
Yeah. The thing, like, I'm dreading my Mystic Mind matchup because that was just, without hyperbole, the worst match of Yu-Gi-Oh I've played in my life. Not because of Mystic Mind, because I misplayed and could have won my game.
Master Rule 5 is a blessing and a curse, you know.
Here it is. So, like, Amities declared light, and then Boars got summoned as a light monster, but then when you equip him, he becomes dark, which kind of overrides the Calamities when you could resolve him.
Mm-hmm. And so here I'm thinking, I'm actually not in a terrible position. I could maybe come back here, but he gets that off the top, which gets him a whole new combo.
That's a crazy top
if he hadn't top decked that Ningirsu, I might actually have been able to win it. Just because having cleared the VFP, he only runs 2.
3 once again in the grave, right?
Was that?
3 or just 1 once again in the grave?
I do, but he has the generator to pop it.
Yeah.
So I summon Ogier, but he's going to get rid of it, and that's really all there is to it. And he flips that for style, just...
He just flexes.
It's fair. Like when you're at that point of the game, you might as well. So that was that first game. Not the start, but we
just any notes, Bricks? Like anything you want to say?
Well,
about
I mean, no, really. The hands weren't fantastic. I feel like, on the whole, the technical play was fine. A lot of the issue I had were a combination of my opponent, opening and drawing well. My deck and improvements we've made to the deck. Some of those hands. I think I had 2 different hands that were open 3 of the trap. That's at 2 now.
Like we've got better normal summon starters like Auger at 3 and not. So it's like, and like builds we have now are more consistent at getting out Gearfried first turn to play through those hand traps a bit better.
Yep, and then losing the die roll and having to play into VFD is also rough. So
I think that's something that we also really worked on as well, is getting Gearfried out as soon as possible.
The 2 main shifts in deck building philosophy after this tournament, or even during, first we really started focusing on early Gearfried. That became a very big thing for us. Even before the tournament was over, we were shifting into that in our play. And then the other big shift was after, and we'll get to this, but after our top cut match, we really started looking into improving going second. So.
Tasha's match was interesting, wasn't it? I actually can't remember Tasha's match.
Okay, you remember how I played a guy who got VFD out consistently and frequently?
Yeah.
Felch was the opposite.
Yeah, well, I'll remember how this one went as it goes. I remember game 3, but let's see. Fast forward to Felch, I'll do all day.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so that's one of the great things about the deck. Like, so many things the opponent just won't know what to negate. Heritage in this case did not matter. They could negate that, and that's fine because I'm still going to full combo here, as we'll see. If I do it right, of course. I meant not actually. The infinite set, yeah. That's 2 hand traps. Unfortunately, I couldn't play through it, but generally the deck would be able to. It's just the only play I had was the brothers play. That play still gets you to the full combo of Charlemagne, grenading a card out of the hand. which you can only do if you play the Arthurian Noble Knights, the old ones.
Yep.
He's just gonna murder me here, I think.
It does look like a lot of murder.
I remember this match because like game 2, I'm like, oh, I've just bricked and died, and then he bricks and dies even worse, and it's fine. So this is another one where like we use that Boar's putting himself into dark thing to play around calamities, which I've just copy pasted into the chat there. You can see. I don't think it matters in the end though, because it negates it or something. So we'll just watch me get murdered. Off to a good start with this replay. It's just 2 matches of getting murdered.
I promise it does get better.
Game 2, here's where it gets better. So like I think I draw pretty terribly, or he negates it. I think he Nibiru's me actually. As I opened, it's like, yeah, my hand's great. Oh wait, I've opened I and Artorigus. So this is
Like that.
cards are gone blank because they were custom ones, but I've used the Tuner Noble Knight to extend past the negate. There's me. I'm like, damn, I'm surely dead, but his hand is not as good.
That's right. I was gonna insult Dueling Book because of the art, but no, you're right. It's because these were still custom cards at the time.
Yeah.
Because they weren't officially on Dueling Book yet.
In this case, I just summoned Gearfried, and there's not really much you can do about it because Gearfried is big. Gearfried is so good for breaking boards. Like he just pushes right through him. So yeah, he scoops when I Cosmic his field spell. An untargetable, indestructible Gearfried was just this is where like I Cosmic that, and then I spent like 5 minutes being like, okay, I know I can play around this board.
That Cosmic was so good for you, man.
Like he still gets the field spell, so it was irrelevant. This is one where like RVD2 is really good because I pop his Infinite, I get the Custonin, gets the guy that pops. I'm like, okay, I can still extend this. So I've got Oliver. That's why I have to go for the Ector into Highlance and play. The Durendal gets me OJ.
Highlance is useful now.
No. So like because I can make the rank 5 now. He can't respond to it because of Ector, so I can break the rest of his board. And now I can do that 5-rax play because I've invested my whole first turn into just breaking the board, and then I've just got to resolve Isolde to get to that full combo.
No, you didn't have to. He asked to Isolde, but you had tuner anyway.
So that's right.
Yeah. I think.
No. That's right. No, that's right. Because he goes, he said something like, "Sorry, mate." And I went, "No, that's fine." And then I just summoned a tuner and kept going.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. He was like, sorry, I'm going to Asher Ease. I was like, that's okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Shall we do my next?
That was a good example of the deck going
do
second,
fast.
playing through a board, and still comboing despite Isolde being negated.
Yep, and now the Falx match to finish round 1. While he's loading that up, Alex, do you have any thoughts you want to share?
Obviously, my build was not great. That one, I think I played that one as technically well as I could, especially that game 3. I'm getting to not playing technically well against Mystic Mine, and
You sure your hotspot can handle that, Falk?
Yeah, should be good.
That 1080 video is gonna.
Hotspot is better than Ambien.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Alrighty.
Whoa! What the heck?
What? The reset?
It's always good to go first, but yeah.
Sounds great.
Any hand that resolves Madrite is like fantastic.
No response. He says no response in chat, so I just go wild.
As you do. There's one thing though, it's like all the combos we have now would also put Gearfried on the board right away. That is something
Oh,
that
this
maybe
is the first time we're gonna see a grenade here. I think.
Oh
Yeah. our core combo.
I don't think either of us managed to use it for various reasons.
Yeah.
But in general, going first, you dump Grenada's roll and then grab after Charles and pop it, so you get to look at their hand and rip a card. And that hand knowledge is very useful because you can plan your whole turn. And just look at the card advantage that Valk is working with here.
I remember watching I was spectating this game and I was just like, he's got it.
The third glory.
There's just about nothing that could go wrong for him here.
Falcon had to basically purposely throw the game at this point.
Like when you forgot you had Fireback still there. Sure. Hanging out.
Summon is holding the other monsters in. It's fine.
There's the
Extra link in Mark 2 or whatever.
that was an example of the Claire Clarence and in OJ.
I
You
remember.
attack directly twice with AK.
I remember in that game, I think you forgot to activate Claire or Clarence. I can't remember what it was, but he scooped anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, like, looking at that board, there was not anything he could really do to stop you
No.
after that.
This board definitely looks like one where you can play through it. Like he does that early infinite, so that you get the extra abilities to pop.
How did the landscape to Grave? I didn't catch what happened there.
Used to discard it, I think.
Actually,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna mute this and slow the speed down a little bit.
Cool.
Oh no, that's choppy. That's no good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
a good
fine.
example. It's a good example of where like searching a Noble Arms with Heritage is a good play because he's got back row and you can search RVDs here, which gets you like 2 to 3 pops depending on how you use it.
He's
I
doing
think
more
at this
stuff.
point, he's just gotcha.
But that's okay. Like
Does he?
we've got
Does
game
he?
3. You
Well, like, he would have if he just summoned things in attack position. And I remember watching that being like, I don't get why he's not doing it.
So this is another case where he's called light, and we can now do the Madrite play because he's become a dark.
I like how he discarded the Gwen.
We get Madrite and Boars resolved here. Pit Calamities.
This is where it really turned around.
Yep. I remember when I watched this, I was very impressed. With
Yeah,
what Black Knight
absolutely.
Would you have made Charlemagne there?
Not much reason
Nah.
to do it though.
I guess not, because you don't have a way to equip to him.
Alright, I remember watching this and I was like, he really got the attack order wrong. Like, he...
did. Yes, he did.
Just like look at the advantage you're getting even without any effects. There's the Charlemagne. Destiny equips and you pop stuff. And
This is proof that Falk is able to basically make a comeback in late any game he wants. Which...
that's right. He made
Yeah,
Regalia.
that's right. He made the Thaumaturge thing. I couldn't figure out what he was doing.
And I'm pretty sure, like, he thought he had he was able to push it. Like, he just needed to have a Hail Mary, wipe everything off the board because it destroys everything on the field, and we were just like, Destiny.
Destiny Protect.
Like,
Equip yourself.
and he had nothing after that. Like,
Look how hard you've made that comeback. Like just recurring heritage every turn, once again to summon things every turn. Like
and I think, like, one of the things that happened here was, like, this guy just did not know what he was doing against us. Like, he really thought he had game at so many points because he didn't read the OG cards.
Yep.
Right.
yeah, that's some Tekken boys.
Yeah.
Any thoughts
So
about that? Any thoughts about
that was
that?
round one.
So going out of round one, how do you guys feel about the matchup now that you've actually played against it?
I think going second is always going to be rough because of calamities, and if they actually to call dark instead of light, it can make it harder. But the fact that we can even play through calamities with Boars and Madrite makes it a pretty favorable matchup.
Hmm.
The only thing I would have criticized is Fausch, you summoned Gearfried after you'd done your combo rather than before, but I guess you were just trying to play around the Bureau because you couldn't do it fifth summon.
I actually remember that at the time where he was summoning it, and we had said, like, are you going to summon it on fifth? But he couldn't get it out with an equip on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we were all like, do your full combo, and then if you get Nibiru along the way, you have Gearfried afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds right.
A funny thing you can do, if you get Nibiru'd, you summon Gawain from hand, which I did have. You summon Gearfried from hand, and then make Isolde. And then 5 racks.
Well,
So,
It's cheeky.
Right, it's a light normal. The token is light.
Yeah.
You can do the same with Link Cross tokens are also light normal, so you can summon going from
Yeah. So I think like one of the things that, from me being on the outside for that match, like watching all of you guys replays, I think as we went through that, we had like very little clue what we were getting into, and as we went through the rounds, we had a much stronger idea of what was going to be happening and what to expect. Like as soon as they dropped a VFD on Brick, we were like, we've got to play around that. As soon as they were dropping Nibiru consistently on us, it was frustrating. But we
Very
played around
consistently.
Now, it's funny because round 2 this didn't really come up, but in our round 3, by that time we had really started to work to get that the early Nibiru protection, early Godfrey in play. That was a focus by then.
Yeah.
I think it was Wired's opponent said when he saw him doing that, going out of his way to get Godfrey on Summon 4, he's like, someone's been hit with a lot of Nibirus, haven't they?
I think that was actually the Ancient Warrior captain. It was I can't remember.
Yeah, ancient. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the name. I can't pronounce it because it's like
I know, right?
waffle.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to him.
Yeah, what a champ.
This next round was Mystic Mine, which Bricks, you love Mystic Mine, don't you?
Shut up.
Everyone was
I did
excited
not-
for this.
So every one of us had to sit out some because there were 4 players. I did not want to play, but stupid Fausch wasn't running Hawkclare, and so I had to.
So-
Which is funny because I end up crushing my opponent, but I still
Yeah,
I skillfully top deck some back row removal.
That order we
But
went
this is-
Alex first, then it was me that played, and then it was Brick bringing up the rear. And before this, like we were saying at the start, we'd worked out that Hawkclare gave us a really good advantage because Hawkclare, when the monster it's equipped to is sent to the graveyard, it can just pop one monster on the field, and so we were able to work out. Going into Isolde, you pop your Isolde, nothing left on the field.
So when your opponent went first, they set like Metaverse. You just on your
They said
turn
demise of the land.
demise land, Metaverse, whatever. You then just would pop your own Isolde, and then you just
No, I lose round 1. I think.
So, like,
There was-
Brick's match.
this,
Yep.
this whole these 3 games are gonna be a great example of like how to play well against Mystic Mine, how to play not well against Mystic Mine, and then Wired's match.
So
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point, I'm waiting basically to hit the Hawkclare. I don't want to commit. Oh yeah, we just skip forward to like a billion passes.
I
The
remember,
turn
like,
count jumps.
we were talking at the time, and I remember we were looking at it, and it was like Hawkclare was the only option that.
Yeah, and
really
then by the
could do
time
it.
I hit it, he had field barrier up, and I just scooped. So this is
Yeah.
game 2.
And like
Game 2 is gonna go a lot better.
can't win this game, we need to go on to the next game. This
Right.
game is much better because you've got Cosmic Cyclone and you've got full combo. The thing with this matchup is, because we've got Smoke Grenade, we just look at the hand like, what gets them Mystic Mine? This? Okay, it's gone now.
Right.
And the Cosmics to back it up as well. So if
That's
they,
fine.
if they ever try, you can just pop it. Banish it.
I think in this one you discard the mine, right?
I think so. And
Yeah.
yes, and then we have the Charles to take care of the Metaverse. So we know he's going to stack. I don't care. I know that's almost certainly Metaverse because I know what he has in back row, so we're going to pop it. And then he can't really left arm at this point, so...
It's time to die.
So at this point, I'm going to just get really mad at him, and I don't like that he's playing a cancerous deck, and so we are going to abuse Grenade.
He might have
Brick is
that
just
thing.
bullying. This is just bullying him at this point.
Yeah, I feel like being mean, but in my defense, he was playing Mystic Mine.
Oh no.
See, that's only one day I paced you.
Yeah, I couldn't battle, so I had to like deny him a turn by ripping his horn.
But now we're coming into the third game, and this is the one that, like, this was one of my favorite moments from this whole tournament.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Wait,
hand,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
so
Got that lovely Twin Twister Cosmic Cyclone combo.
no,
Imagine
we're gonna
having
come
both
to it.
hands.
We're gonna come to it. We're
Yeah.
gonna come to the best
So
bit.
we have the mine, and I know it's there.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
So we're
Judgment
testing
of
how
Hawk.
to out it. You know, he judgments the Hawkclare. Now the thing about the Hawkclare to clear mine is I have to pass my turn to force it off the board. But if he's just going to burn the judgment on Hawkclare, I'm free to back row remove it anyway.
Yeah, like, so we're all like trying to think, okay, what could your back row be? How are we going to play around it? We'll activate Elclair and then see what he does. Because at the very least, let's link off into Isolde and pop our own Isolde, and then his Mystic Mind destroys itself. And he judgments the whole clear, and we're like, oh, well, that's one less card we have to worry about negating our back row removal.
Yep. Hey, look at that! Look what it's recommending next. How about that? We should watch that instead.
Subscribe to Bricks.
Excellent video, top notch.
That was a good example of how to play against mine. Like, I think you played that.
And following up with that, let's do Alex's match.
Let's get mine.
Yeah,
match.
let's go to Alex's match. We'll do mine last because
I will preface. Like, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since it came out. I've been playing it. It's like how long has it been out now? Like
20 years.
I've been playing it since it came out in Australia. This is, without a doubt, the worst match I've ever played in my entire life.
It was not great.
My brain just stopped working. I'm not sure what happened. Ugh. Okay, let's just.
I remember after you did this match, you just came to us all and were like, I can't explain my behavior. I can't justify this.
After the match, I posted both my game 1 and my game 2 hands and went, here's how I should have played it, and like fully mapped out the combo to do it, and then just like, that's how you do it. Why didn't I do that in the game?
That's the thing, like, you should have won and you just
Didn't.
Here, like, I've opened the Charlemagne combo. I've opened Smoke Grenade. I get to look at his hand. There's the Mystic Mind gone. I think he must have had 2. He paused it by the point that, like, I could have outed it. Like, you can see I've put Elclair there, so, like, I can... So, like,
you tribute summon to get down to 1.
I linked away to an Isolde, then tribute summon to Gearfried, then linked into another Isolde to pop my own Isolde. So I've got no monsters now. Oh, with Mystic Mind. Great, I've actually outed the Mystic Mind there. The only good player did this match. He gives me Heritage. It's Card of Fate, which was cool. Yeah, stop the video. Please. So, like, got Necro Valley up and Solemn Judgment set. The play, like, Necro Valley actually turns off a whole lot of our effects, but I've got in the graveyard, I think I've got once again.
Yeah, you do.
Like, I've got so many resources in grave to, like, pop stuff and summon stuff from deck. What I should have done is...
Anything else?
I think I summon the Artorigus next. See what I do first. The first thing I do is fine. Like, I summon the Artorigus, Arvides here, put the back row. So I've got the Judgment going. What I should have done is made King... There's something I did. Like, I could have made King Custom and bounced the Necro Valley, then just comboed off. I didn't do that. What did I do?
I think you went to Highlands, as I recall.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
And that's like, why did I do that?
Then you sold into something, but like, there's nothing you can really effectively work with here.
I think I kept getting thrown by the fact that I had Living Fossil in hand. I kept going, okay, I'll just Living Fossil something back in combo. That's it.
Right.
Like, what I was meant to do was just make Arvides here, pop back row, make Isolde, summon Drustin. Had a Noble Arms at some point. Would have let me pop Necro Valley, and then I could have played on 1, but I just didn't do that. So I end on Brothers Pass, like a genius. Can't even use Brothers, because Necro Valley's still up.
Yeah, that's the real icing on this cake, isn't it? And so at this point, we're game 1, so you don't have your side deck, and your hot card's already used.
What should have happened is I should have made either King Custonin or it was Drustin off the Necro Valley, and then comboed off.
Because like you mapped it out to game, like you would have actually won the game that turn.
Yeah.
This game, I look at my hand and go, oh, that's not really full combo. I'll just pass so he can't get up Mystic Mine. Which is wrong, because this hand was full combo.
Okay, but you don't get to take too much shit for that because of my game versus... Who was it? I don't remember.
The game where I was at work, so I was only partially spectating.
I think you
For
were
your hand.
testing it against me, Brick.
One of you later down the line, like, I posted in the chat, like, oh, that hand's full combo. Look away from it, look back, and you pass. So I'm like, why?
Yeah, that was Brick.
Yeah, it was me. I just don't remember what it was
It
against.
was in the Mermails match.
Come up.
No.
The point is, like, this
No, I didn't play Mermails.
It was in the DDD match.
That's
No, you played.
No.
We'll get to it.
It was against someone. We'll know when we see it.
Yeah,
Like in this match, like essentially, I could have gotten Charlemagne first turn, looked at his hand, and like we looked at the hand afterwards, and like I think I could have discarded like left arm or something. I have no resources, I would have won the game. But, like I just looked at and went, oh, this isn't really Charlemagne combo. I'll just pass, and then he can't Mystic me, but then he has Field Barrier, so he does.
It was against Cubics.
Yeah. This is like a really good example of like why we've got channels on our Discord set up to like workshop hands and like figure out how to play combos, even when they look like they're not combos, because it's astounding how many lines of play this deck can have, even with the weirdest of hands.
Mm-hmm.
That hand was full combo with Charlemagne and I think even Gearfried, and I just didn't do it for some reason.
And now we come to my replay.
So,
This was a
Actually,
replay of how.
like, I should preface this by saying, like, I went into this, like, on the back of Alex's match, being like, I'm gonna struggle with this. Alex and I have been practicing, and he just kept drawing, like, God hands with the Mystic Mind deck we were practicing with, and I just kept losing, and I couldn't out it. And I went into this, like, I think we were all in team chat, we were all ready, we were psyched up, and we went for it, and then this guy's first turn just went, and you can already see in his hand, it's got the fossil.
he's playing a weird build.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's-
Di-Fi, one of my favorite cards to play against.
Vivid. It's
Yep.
a really fantastic
Let's
first turn.
see how it goes. Like, set one,
Sets the
Necro
fossil
Valley,
liner.
and I was just like, cool, thanks.
Sets the fossil liner, like, ugh. And he's like, we're already there. Like it's like we don't care. Like he's got nothing else.
Yeah.
He sets the like. Why does he set the? Why?
This is the point where, like, Noble Knights really excel with just Caveman.
I didn't
You
believe
got
I
Bunga
just-
towards attack.
Yes, the
And
set
it's
border.
like,
Oh, there is one thing you misplayed there. You can use Arvadita to pop set monsters.
yeah, no, I can't remember why I didn't do that. I think I was playing around something at the time, but I should have
Oh,
popped
like
the set.
yeah, we were
first.
thinking like surely that must be like something that floats or like.
Yeah. And so I was like going for the back row first because I knew like I could get Charl and Gearfried up.
So you want to
so
pop
I
it with
could-
Charlemagne anyway. There's no
Yeah.
hands to discard, so just pop it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then I think I held on to the Gearfried
That's
just
nice.
in case it was a mine.
They just ripped that one card. out of his hand.
Yep. So again, like that was what I wanted to do with the little Roland. Like you deny
The grenade in the standby
phase.
phase.
Yeah.
We're not sure what happened with this guy. Just he really likes setting monsters. Even if he didn't, though, even if he normal summons the Inspector Border, you still had a way to get to an Exceeds monster and kill it anyway.
Yeah. And so like here, this was just like I got to play the game. I Mystic Mine, my approach has just always been just hit them. Just hit them until it hurts.
Like he's got 1,700 life points left. You just Cosmic the Mystic Mine, attack him, and he's dead.
That's right,
Yep.
yeah.
That was it. Like
Rick's had this astounding game of like really cleverly playing around Mystic Mine. I had this really awful game. My brain just exploded, and I misplayed horribly against Mystic Mine. Then you just had the easiest time in the world.
You
I
just
was
played
having
against stun, basically.
yeah, and not even
Yeah, stun without the back row.
stun. Yeah. It's like,
He had back row game one. You just
I just played through it all. Like, yeah. I think when it came down to it, like that was kind of the wild card match that we had. And I was like, what was I worried about again? So,
how do we feel about that matchup?
like, honestly, what I can say, like, for you and me, Alex, we have a lot of practice, like, with Mystic.
For guys at our
We've
locals who
talked
play
about
Mystic.
that, yeah. And so whenever we get match, I swear to God, like for like 6 months, I played Noble Knights in the TCG, and every second week I was at locals, I got matched with this guy at some point, and I always had to out him, and he always played the same Mystic Burn deck, and it's
There's a guy at our locals who's just like he's a bit of an urban legend. He just plays Mystic Mine Burn. It's definitely an interesting character, but like because of it, we've had so much practice. You know, I went into this match being like, oh, I will teach you guys how to play around Mystic Mine. I am so good at playing Mystic Mine. Usually I am, but something went wrong that day.
So for round 3, we were facing Ancient Warriors. And Ancient Warriors at this point was one of the other undefeated decks, which, I mean, what? So I play Ancient Warriors as a casual deck, and I did kind of teach the team a little bit what they're doing, but I couldn't figure out. Like, I think I did a practice match against someone, and we agreed like this is not right. What's going on? And then we found the hybrid that the Ancient Warrior team is using, and it's a really clever hybrid with Eldritch. There's actually a lot of synergy there, more than just beyond Eldritch is splashable and good. It really works well. They have a spell coming in Rise of the Duelist that makes them all spell speed 4, and so it's a very clever combo. I had a lot of fun versus them. And so what happened was the night before I read our matches, I actually used their deck list and practiced it for like a whole day. I played that list on Pro to learn what how the combo works. It's really cool, actually.
Let's watch Brooks' match. I sat out this round because I still don't know what a single Ancient Warriors card does. But,
I think like you came to us as well. Like I just need a week off. I need a break after the Mystic Mine.
I need to restart my brain.
That's right.
Ancient Warriors is not the right start for that.
So he's going to, I think, Ash's Soul. Yep, but he ashes the first effect for some reason.
No.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah, I remember
And
us
so-
watching it like that happened, and then you just flexed 9 equips on him. Like,
Like, if he ashed Isolde's Summon effect, you still get full combo because he had Olivia and a Crystal in hand. Because he ashed the Surge, we also just got Gearfried.
yeah,
And the thing about this Ancient Warrior is, like, if you know what their cards do, then you know what to rip with Grenade, and then, yeah. So the one I discard is basically their starter, and so now they don't have a starter.
Twin Twister was bad.
Decent enough. But
You've still got
But
Charlemagne popping sword to Gearfried negate, so it's like...
yeah. And like here, you've got game on board essentially.
yeah.
Like, with this...
I grab Arf just to take care of that, whatever that might be.
it's not a threat.
Nope.
Like, yeah, like, that was a game where, like, that was our optimal start, basically. Like, that's like our most common optimal start. Like, Gearfried, Charlemagne, stuff set up for next turn.
Yep.
In the boards, basically. Basically, like, if that turn 1 goes off like that, like, if we get Charlemagne resolved, if we get Gearfried set up, or we get Boars set up, it's just, like, it's so difficult for any deck to come back and break through that. Because the resources we gather are just insane.
Yeah. So going into game 2, how are you feeling, man?
Well, I didn't know at the time, but he fell victim to my curse.
And the curse of double or nothing is always in your hand.
Yeah.
Now, it was funny because I debated, is he going to go first or go second? In my mind, Ancient Warrior is a go second deck, but fun enough, he's the only one of our opponents this round to blind second. It worked out for me though.
Is you using a modified 3 Warriors combo? Like, you get Alt Warriors on the board with Outclair, which is good. Oh, that's right. No, you're doing the
You actually taught me this combo.
because I was like, hey, there is a way to combo into the Fireaxe combo the same way, even if you've got too many monsters on the board.
Yep. So we're gonna grenade and we're gonna rip the Tenki because I know that'll get him a starter. And so now I know that really, no matter what he draws, it's not going to get him where he needs to be. He's going to attempt to remove that. Won't do anything. He'll put it back on the board, but like I don't care. I'm perfectly fine with losing a monster to shut down his recursion.
At this stage, you've got Artorigus to pop back row, you've got Charlemagne to pop something else, you've got Altclair in case you need to pop the... You can't pop the Eldritch guy because he's destruction. The new one, though. And then, however, he just doesn't
Which
care.
is why we're going to bounce them both.
Okay. At this point, you're just flexing. You've got more than enough for the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was it.
No, yeah. So that match kind of reinforced what I already thought about the matchup. You know, the combo they're doing is really cool. It's got some excellent synergy, but yeah, if we go first, then we can plan our turn around them and just run circles.
Do Falch your match next?
Yeah.
We 2-1 this. I think we 2-1 most of our rounds.
We
Didn't
2-1'd this one.
3-1 your round.
We 3-0'd against Cubics.
I'm pretty sure I lost this game.
I
But
think because I know I won mine.
Yeah, we 2-1'd our way through the whole thing. So
Yeah.
He opened really well.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Theoretic
can see, like,
negative.
he's just popping off.
Theoretic negative. That one back quickly. I think he just set up like optimal board there.
Yeah. And here you've just got bad brick. Like,
yeah,
you did not have much of a choice
Like
here.
that's the thing. Like we were all playing 3 once again tournament when we've now cut it down to 2. So like odds of opening the trap card are now a fair bit lower. So
no, I mean the trap. It was a 3 of in Classic Nights.
exactly. But now we've been like, actually, we don't need 3. We can recycle the copies if the game goes too long now because of multi, and we can and usually the games are over by that point.
That double impermanence. That's right.
And Crow.
Forgot about that.
And Diddy Crow and just like you've got a hand that is 4 unplayable cards and a 1900 stick. It's just
It's
Oh,
difficult
excellent.
to deal with.
like,
You get Chalice back, which is like optimal searcher, but you still got to play through everything else.
I mean, you made a valiant effort. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
so we didn't get that. Whatever. So that's a straightforward match. Like 2 break game 1 hero can full combo and interrupts. And of course, like we've modified our builds now, so like they shouldn't be this. I did test hands with Little Roland and one Ogier and stuff, and like still had like a what was it? It was what did I do? I did the maths on this. I should know.
The old builds had they still did have a roughly 97% combo rate.
No,
But
it was 96%. I think I worked it out to.
but the rate of playing through a disrupt was much worse, and
It was
the
still-
number of hands that were like great as opposed to just good were lower as well.
When I tested hands with like basically the variant we're playing with in the tournament, which was older worse, like it still had like a 50% rate of playing through a hand trap full combo. So now it's Wired's turn for his.
Oh yeah, this one. This was I remember. I think I was the 3rd to play.
Oh, and yeah, like this is the one where they kept screwing up. So like
Yeah.
This one.
tried to play in Edo Pro rather, and it
So like everyone watching, like you can see, like his extra deck isn't 15, and there is no reason not to run a 15 card extra deck. But like we'd had a false start on Edo Pro at that point where he said like the game had glitched out, so we didn't get an effect off properly, and we were like, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm just gonna.
I was
go.
like,
I just
you're playing an
went,
automated sim, you got to deal with it.
Yeah. And so we went on to Dueling Book, and then we got in. I won the die roll, had opened the nuts hand, and he was playing the wrong deck. And it was like, well, shit.
So we started
And it was
again.
post-siding playing the wrong deck.
All right. No. At first he started with Lunalights.
Yeah. And so then we get to
Oh,
here,
shit, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
playing through, and like, I'm just negating, I'm popping, I'm just
Right.
dealing with whatever. Like, he targets
And so-
the Vibrax there for his pop. And so we've gone to the second round, and it was like halfway through my turn. So like the game ends partway through this turn, and I've got everything I need on the field. Like,
You've played through like all 3 of his back row just then. Got full combo in hand.
And then he realizes we didn't notice it.
like I had seen the 11 cards in the side deck, but I was like, on Edo Pro, I remember it was the same, and I was like, I don't care. Like,
So at this point, he realizes like his extra deck is missing cards, and he was missing some of the new cards in main deck as well. Like your hand there was Resolve, Gearfried on field, Charlemagne Resolve, sending a card with Smoke Grenade. So you were winning this anyway. Like you played through 3 of his back row, started the card, set up the gates and 3 special summons. So like
I think like after the other 2 matches as well, I knew what to hit. I knew what I was looking for, and I knew what he was probably going to be looking for to hit me with. So like I had the advantage of knowledge, I had the board advantage. There was no way I wasn't going to win, regardless of what he had in his deck. But there was just that massive conversation that happened.
we got through
I
it. It
was
was awkward.
like,
Oh my god, that was so exhausting.
yeah, I think like I remember like I played the match. I said to Brick like I need to go for a walk, and I just got up from my computer. I just left. I just went. It's like, just needed some
Journey.
air after all of that.
I've had those matches we just had to recover from afterwards. Mine was mine, yours was Ancient Warriors.
Yeah, I think like, and it wasn't anything for like, I lost the game, I played horribly. It was just exhausting.
Anything we would have done differently this round?
I just started on dueling book straight away.
I went into this one as prepared as I was for any game, so I was happy.
Yeah, I think like when it came to Falch's match, it was just simply like he had a hard time playing.
That happened to my Murmur.
Pians.
Happens in my Murmur match as well. Like game 3, I just opened good. Speaking of Murmels, is that next?
Yeah, that's round 4. Yeah.
We can start with mine, I suppose, or start with whoever that was you just clicked on.
Let's do mine last.
Okay, yeah, do mine last.
Okay. Yeah. Do mine last because
So let's start with mine. Mine was just
our match.
the Murmur matchup was kind of die roller because we both decks do that sort of end look at and discard thing. Murmurs go first and get the full combo. Like starting the game with like one card is just fun. You had a slight advantage.
This match was very die rolling. I was like, I was happy to make this one the round I set out from.
So like with this one, like I won the die roll, which meant I won, but I didn't. And you can see as well, we've kind of gotten opening plays kind of down pat. Like we know to go gear free, we know to old send 9 for it, we know to 5-axe combo and just crazy. Mermel as well was a matchup where we were expecting them not to have many hand traps, so we kind of it was a similar deck to ours basically. So we're like they're gonna full combo, they're gonna want to minimize inconsistencies. So yeah, like I went first and grenaded and he just stripped because like the board is a negate a pop and a hand.
I think as well, what should be noted is like as there was the one point there where like you summoned Gearfried, you summoned Linkrost or something, and straight away the first action after was getting an equip back on the field because it's like that one moment of weakness.
That's why this confused me so much. He summoned the Boojin Link monster, which is historically one of the worst monsters to ever exist. That game, like, that really was just down a chance. Like, if he discarded some different cards, like he discarded the 2 cards in my hand I needed to play. Like, if he had discarded other cards, I probably could have actually played through his board.
And then this hand was just
this hand. Like, I've cut my clients on now as much as I dislike it because like it is good to have utility to search for any equip spell and summon him off his order once again. Just like no.
The thing is, Renault does the same exact thing.
Exactly. It's like we've got cards now that just like fill the utility we once had. It's one of those things where, like you've played a card for so long, the deck gets new support. You've kind of just got to your teeth and cut the old cards.
I still cry for Galahad.
Oh, God.
Well, hold on. So that game 2 was just a case of like I had the resources to play through the board, but he had them all in Glacier to discard, and the cards he got just didn't me. I think we've got discussions in how I could play with that board, discard other stuff, and then game 3 was just a. Then it was Bricks, I think.
No, I set out this round.
That's right, it's Falch.
It was Falch's match.
Yep, Falch, the top deck god.
Yeah, that's right. Oh boy, how do you do it, man?
So before we get into this match, Falch, how do you feel about it before?
I was actually pretty confident going against Mermails because I play the deck.
Because we tested a lot with you before.
Yeah.
And my opponent doesn't know the deck. Like, doesn't know my deck. Definitely not.
The hand you
a
opened.
huge edge there.
The hand you opened there was pretty meh. Actually, it was just 2 warriors on board, and he doesn't like have any hand traps, which he didn't, unfortunately. But like, you can see like even just 2 warriors gets us to Charlemagne and the grenade discard.
Then you forgot to summon Gearfried for some reason.
That's right. He had to little pill booth.
Oh, you searched it? I thought you opened it.
Yeah, he searched it off his old.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh yeah, that was a good play there.
I think like we had that conversation at the time as well, because a few of us missed that.
He just scoops that one up because he can't through your board. Because like,
Is this the one where he opens the turtle?
That was the game one.
That was
yeah.
against me.
Oh, it was against you, yeah. I just remember that, and that was like the highlight of this match for me.
Game 1, like you can see, like even though had a fair amount of plays, he still's got nothing to play through a 4K untargetable, indestructible dude.
Yeah,
we were so mad because like if he had discarded the trap, would have been so great.
I think we had like in this matchup, it was the one matchup where playing 3 of the trap card actually did kind of come into our favor because if they discarded it, we get a special summon.
I feel like I remember that play there. That was me
I missed
encouraging
it.
it when
Yep.
you
So
equipped the Mermail Link instead of you equipped Moon Glacier instead of the Mermail Link, and it cycled out from there because you got Reslag, all these other things.
do you want to talk about what just happened then? The locusts.
Yeah, so he used Desert Locusts of 5 racks, and I had the trap in hand, which was a brick, but he made me discard it. Well, I discarded it myself, and now it is a summon from deck. So he unbricked me basically.
Yep.
I put Shade Set here as well, so next turn I have anything I really want.
Oh no, you do. Oh, you do the awesome play here, don't you?
Yes, yeah, this was the amazing play.
Right, because he locused on your turn.
Yep, so you got the
So-
trap 5 on our turn.
Right, and this is when you do the really. Then I thought it was brilliant what you did here. So.
And then he misplays because like we see him summoning Abyss Man and going, oh okay, he's gonna go for Calamity, it's gonna screw us over. But then he uses the Marin set, which locks him into Waters.
Yep.
He tries to make a rank 9, and we're like, nah man.
We were all laughing in voice chat then.
Yeah.
So it was-
Let's click fast forward, dude.
Yeah.
Then you summon OJ and send another once again in your end phase. So then on your next turn, you get an extra special summon from deck.
Yeah.
Just like
Yep.
pop off.
And so he had a disrupt on you, but it didn't matter.
Then he debarriers, that's right, and he calls Synchro, and it's like, that's fine, we play the Creed monsters as well.
I was so surprised to see D-Barrier come up so many times in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like,
People
going
said
first
that
deck
against us
too.
twice.
yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
Again, and decks that want to go first.
it's like because we play Synchros and Xyzes in this variant, like, it just meant, like, maybe you're going for an Xyz play anyway, but, like, it means, like, if he calls Xyz, we can just go for a Synchro play. Like, it wasn't a good call against us. I'm having the Gear Freed as well, just, like, you just broke the board to pieces.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wides. Shall we do right?
Okay.
wides
Yeah,
next?
yeah. We're going into this one. And so, like, I think I played second.
Using that once again to summon OJ and then send another once again to use on your next turn, that
That
was
was inspired.
chef's kiss, that was beautiful stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So this match was like you got to keep it on fast forward.
Oh, yes, Echo! Hell yeah.
It's Storm Echo against who's cool guy, but he also really likes to know what's going on.
This match,
That's right.
how long was this match again?
2.5 hours.
So both Wired and Echo were like reading the cards intently, and it took forever. I remember being like, "I need to get to bed, guys," because for you guys it was morning, but for me it was 2 a.m.
I was at work, I think. I was like, I've got to get back to work, guys.
Yeah, so it's like, but
up
I
with my
was
lunch
there
break
just
and that.
playing the whole time, and I was like, "Yeah, we're good."
Oh, I remember I got a DM from Storm Echo, and he was trying so hard to get you to crack and actually talk to him.
He's just told me what these cards do. What should I stop? Yeah,
I
you,
remember
you-
like watching this as well, and I was like, "What's he doing? Like, what am I gonna have to pop here?" And we just went for the frog. I think here we just hurt him.
Yeah.
so that was one again where you've opened Gear Free, Charlemagne, and just everything.
I think I actually managed to do that.
Yep. The turtle. The
Yeah,
turtle.
turtle.
He actually he hits really well with Minstrel there. He banishes you once again because like that's what you don't want discarded. So when he temporarily banishes it, it means he's not going to discard it by accident.
Yeah.
But does he discard Roland or does he not
No,
discard
he
Roland?
misses the Roland too. This is the
Try.
one where we were like, "There's
Roland,
2 cards
and
we wanted to hit."
The die as well, so it's like
He hits the die and the Madrout, the 2 best, or the 2 cards we don't want him to hit. Like any of the others, we would have been okay with. I think.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why he was like, do you want to just pick the cards? He's like, no, I want to roll the die because like the dice is more skilled than I am, and they were like.
Yeah, they just were. And here it was just like I just had to set up something. Went Roland off, give me your once again, give me something, right?
Had he
And
Mullen
he
Glacier to You send his Mauling Glacier away, so we had no battle phase, so we didn't worry about dying, do we?
Yeah, but he just set up.
I think he makes
Pretty okay board.
Right, Trisha's the once again. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I think we just like no.
Needed that setup, actually.
and here it's like I can't actually play. Like Ector once again in Caliburn, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, what was in my grave at this point?
I think it was like RVD2.
It's dying the
Yeah.
drow and after D4.
It's just dead.
And so game 3.
Yep, we go game 3.
Like 2 hours
And
into
this
the
was
point.
where it got. This was a lot of fun for me. Like,
Just reading your cards hurts me in the chat right there.
If you could, like, he's there's like, love this deck's resilience to like hand traps. Because like you've opened the Madrite and the Crystal. If he negates the Madrite, you've got the customer to play through. If he doesn't though, you get the boards, and boards just sets up the rest of your game. So it's like there's nothing he can really correctly hit at this point.
So the original 3 Warriors path right here. The classic.
yep. And so we
Yeah,
set up.
normal.
Moving
And
forward.
I believe here is when we pull the Teus from his hand. And
Yeah, so
we-
this was the Teus rep, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
and so we basically mapped out like his whole turn on your end phase. We knew
Yeah.
exactly what
And
he
so
would do.
here, like what we actually did, we didn't negate the Abyss Neptus. We hit the second Dragoons that he sent to grave.
Right.
And so he actually got really creative with how he handled this.
The
'Cause he-
Mistral Boy add back the Abyss Chaos was clever.
Yeah.
Yes. It was. I gotta give him credit for that. But then I think he had a problem with he only ran one? No, that wasn't him, it was someone else.
Yeah.
Then because you've got the Charlemagne, you just there's options. But then like you still got a Firebrax play, but not a very good one.
Yeah.
And just passes on Fishboard.
Gee lad.
I
Yeah,
think he's gonna
you can just see like how much advantage you have by your turn 3.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Even if he
crazy.
sets full board, it doesn't really matter. We were kind of dreading this matchup because of
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was
It's so
Nightmare.
die rolly.
1 or 3 die rolls, which was nice.
I mean, it's good practice because the current format's die rolly. So
Yeah, I
So
didn't agree
practice your die
entirely,
rolls.
but yeah. I don't entirely agree. I think like there definitely are. This deck can definitely play going second if it can play through and break boards. Like, fact is we're playing 60 cards, so it's hard to get hand traps in. So like we do have to just sort of play through the full boards.
I think like you're right on that, and that's something we really experienced through this. And coming out of the Mermail match, like we really did appreciate the sheer advantage we got from going first. Like if that third game for me had been reversed, that would have been a struggle. That would have been a really big struggle to go through.
I will say this: by the end of this, because we changed our build so much, knowing what to side out was super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, siding sucks. It's hard having a deck like you're playing 60 cards and still 55 of them are necessary. You want to side in 6 cards. So now we get to last round of Swiss, which is Cubics.
Yep.
big ups to the Cubics team though. They are phenomenal people. The Cubic
Love
people, they're great. They're so nice. I love them.
Yeah.
Mine was the last game to play. Do you want to just finish with mine? Or
Let's start with bricks.
You start with me a lot. I did play first this round though,
Yeah.
because it was my
I
friend.
sat out this round because I was just like, I think we just cycled round.
This is the crap hand right here.
Well.
This is the one. Now I thought we in voice chat thought this hand was a brick, unplayable, but it's not. It's full combo.
I was at work at the time, and I was like popping in every now and then to look and be like, "Yeah, what's going on? Okay, cool." And like you posted a hand, I went, "Oh yeah, that's full combo." Went away, went back, and went, "Why did you pass turn?"
Like, I remember I was there and I was looking at it like, okay, this is a weird hand, but I wasn't expecting you to pass turn. I thought we were gonna like map it out or something. And we
Yeah.
mapped something out. I was like, oh shit, he's passed. Like we could have.
And then at this point, Ivan hadn't been part of a deck list of mine in a long time, so this was like a chance to get to use Ivan again, which not
Yeah.
what I wanted, but because I had dropped Ivan weeks ago.
You're locked into Noble Knights here, so like you're doing some funky stuff to get to Charlemagne without using the Fibrax combo.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I play really weird this turn. And I think I get to Charles, but I don't have Roland Engrave? Or no, I don't remember. There was something quirky about the way this hand played out. And I felt it was awkward.
It was awkward. Did you just see what you just did? Black Line Sling, using like Brainfire or Torgus to revive stuff and pop stuff, and it's like, what? This is a matter.
That's why we don't play anymore.
It's a matter of when you're going like, okay, Vix make big lad and big lag kill you. If we put in defense, we not die. And they were like, here's some wacky Doozer unification combos we can do. It's like, oh, they actually do more stuff. Like they played Penstag, so they could actually do piercing damage as well. So we had to play around that as well.
I think like we went into this matchup being like, what exactly are we up against here? Like, we just
it's still one where just like hand knowledge is so important.
And I think like Cubics were like baffling everyone in the tournament because like they had managed to climb all the way up to like 5th round, like right in like the top bracket for everything. We were
At this point, we were still undefeated.
And
They were
up.
I want to say they were 3-1 or 2-2 at this point, but
They beat DD at this point.
Right. Of our opponents across the tournament, they faced almost all of them. They only faced undefeated teams all tournament. It was insane.
Yeah. And they just kept winning. I think they lost one match before us. I think they were on 3.
They lost to Mermail and DD.
Yeah.
This is what happened then. Like that match was one where like we looked at his hand and it's like he had Rage and Lightning Storm and stuff. It's like we can tank most of that.
Yeah.
Was this the one where he had evenly or?
No, so you discarded you looked at his hands like this is all going second board breaking stuff and Magician Souls. If I discard the Magician Souls, he can't discard the Karma and play. So like because one was like it's fine for him to break our board because he doesn't have a board.
Right, we did right. So it wasn't this round, but there is a round where we discard them evenly, and the guy asked us later why didn't you discard evenly rather? Because we saw we knew we had it. We're like, because we don't care if you wipe our board, we just don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Just don't want you OTKing us.
Right.
That was a fun match.
I think that was Alex's match actually.
Possibly. But what happened yours? Yours pouches.
Let's see. Should we do mine next? Or...
Yeah, let's do yours next.
Oh no, okay. Mine
We're coming up on the end. We're almost through this.
Yep. Are we going to do the D&D replays? Or just
I think we do them.
Okay.
At this point, we're what 80 minutes into this now, so.
Yeah.
So in general, how did you guys feel about Cubics in the matchup?
It was like it's one of those matchups where like if you go into it just playing as you normally do, you're going to lose because Nova's a good card. It's one where you've got to really be like, I've got to modify how I'm playing in order to win this matchup, and like that it's like okay, I've got to put things in defense. Got to hold pops for like Penstag and stuff because. There are other plays for sure. Like that's one of the things we found so cool. Like
being an archetype tournament really helped here. We knew what we were getting into from the start, and so we were able to basically plan for it. I didn't feel Cubics on the whole really did anything unexpected. Their loops with whatever the heck that card is called, the trap, are cool.
Yeah,
unification, right? But it's not that different from how we play with our trap, where we can bait our opponent into thinking they're safe and such. And so we came into this with the mindset of knowing how to work around that sort of deal.
So almost like the Animal Crimson never passed, so like even if he didn't have Lightning Storm to out it, you can still make Charlemagne either huge attack points or just use Clarent to attack directly for game. Clarent outplay would have been game. In this case, like Charlemagne is big enough with the Rex to kill him.
Yeah.
He made me go first.
Yeah.
It's-
That was something we were surprised about, but also he just wants to kill you. He just wants to get the battle damage.
Here's another one where, like, you can see we've developed our playstyles. We're now doing the OJ plus Renell combo to get our gear free before we use Ezol's effect. We weren't doing that at the start of the tournament, for sure.
No, that was definitely something we really started doing. I gotta give credit to our bug friend there, because I was so, when he first proposed Ogier to 3 and Bros to 2, I was like, I leave my exact words as, that's moronic. Why would anyone do that? He's like, no, you gotta listen. Because Ogier plus these cards.
That was
is
the
good for
evenly
you.
matched point that we were talking about, actually.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. And he sent Morgus to Grave to get the recycle because he just... Did you see his hand?
A few cards there, it's fine. Yeah, like, more about at the end, but like, I love the Discord. The guys in there are just clever and such a great community.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely the most active Discord community I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's also, one of the nicest.
This board here, like, he's just got one thing in defense. He's revived. It's like it didn't matter the way he match.
I still recall. And I think Falk forgets about the protection here and misplays, so we can't break it. Yeah, that's right.
I should
Whose
say
turn
as
was a
well
misplay?
that...
That's right. This was the game where we're like yelling at Falk because he just threw the game.
This is Falch's Alex's Mystic Mind match.
Basically.
Brick and I were in the chat at this point and we were watching, and Falch, you went off the voice chat, I think, so you could concentrate on what was going on. And we were just kind of watching from the sidelines through all of this.
I'm just like, oh, he's got. I think I was playing Metroid Prime, just watching this in my other monitor, the corner of my eye, like, oh, he's got this. I don't need to pay attention here.
That's the thing, you still
Really?
did have this. Like, even after misplay, so I've got 14 cards in hand. It's fine.
That you should, and I was like, yeah, okay, he can still win this turn. He didn't win last turn. He can still do it, and then really snatching defeat from the jaws of victory here, my friend.
But you pulled through, because I think, Cubic was the one that we 3-0'd.
I think so. Just comboing with everything. The Artorigus in defense were like, why?
Right, I was like, dude, battle phase.
So was using the Big King to res Charl was great. I loved that move.
Then we still got damage the game.
Yeah.
In this match, I really wish I had Hauteclair, because I could have just attacked over his cubics without having to worry about floating with unification and discard and all this stuff.
I think it's a funny thing because a lot of your matches that you played, it's like you've come out of it saying as well, like, if I had Hauteclair, I could have done this. If I had Hauteclair, I could have done that. And it really does sell the card for you, doesn't it? Just knowing what it can do.
And on paper, it's not. It doesn't first appear to be good, but it just is.
Just an added layer of utility the deck gets, and because now we've got Durendal to make Glory good, it means Glory is also good, and Highline Sun is also good, and just in phase Charlemagne equip stuff, it's so much to do. My game.
All right, last round of Swift.
This game made me feel powerful.
Yeah, you just steamrolled him, didn't you? I think I wasn't available for this. I was at D&D, I think, and I just I checked the chat after.
Alex.
I think Wyatt was here, but
I was there watching it. It was me, I think, Beef, were you there?
I was there for half of it, I think.
Yeah, I think I was there watching it. I was talking with Alex, and dude,
There's Dallas going in.
steamrolled. Oh no, I was working from home that day, so I was not on the voice chat, and we were just dude just got wrecked. I think this was actually the quickest game.
I opened Gearfried and Charlemagne. Don't think I resolved wars, but I've got Elsewhere there. I just as the Crimson Nova attack Charlemagne, I go okay, Elclair effect to pop the provoke the spell effect. It's just a very clean game. Fergus is here, he pops that. It's back to Durendal and the Joys to get more stuff.
Just
This fucking
summon
kinda-
extra Gifrid because he can. At that point, you were just memeing on him.
There were points I was like, I don't need to play any further. I've got like 13,000 damage on board.
I think
In game 2, like yeah, he just shotguns these in the draw phase and like I've got Cosmics. Like this one was like I don't like it's one of those games. Sorry, it's one of those things you see where people sign in like Imperial Order or anti-spell. It's like we don't. The spells are handy, but we don't need them. Like started like if I
People
drawn
forget that we can equip them from grave.
if I drawn an equip spell instead of Gwenwithar, I would have probably hit the anti-spell. The Imperial Order doesn't matter too much except for like Die and Heritage and Rotor or whatever. Still get to most of our combos just via our monsters. Like the spell prevention stuff just doesn't affect us that much. Like the DD ground like is annoying, but it's like I know you got no other cards. I know I've got game.
Right.
But like, if we'd faced that with like our TCG deck, that would have been a struggle.
Not necessarily. Like if I opened the same stuff TCG and I had Cosmic still, like I guess the downside is like the DD ground hurts us far more.
Yeah, I actually think that versus floodgate style decks, I think that that's the kind where we have seen. We still could do a lot about them. In most cases, with the classic knights, it's I think it's versus combo and more aggressive decks that we're doing better now.
Yeah.
The decks that are always going to be hard matchups for us are going to be decks that first turn vomit their entire deck on the board and have like 7 negates. Like because we can't.
There is one floodgate that has gotten significantly better with the new stuff, and it's Zombie World.
Yeah.
Well, not even necessarily because like there are combos we can do that don't really care if we have warriors on board. You can still do 5-rax combos. You open like Oliver, you just don't go through Ezold.
Right, that's why I was saying that's the one floodgate that I feel like the new stuff has made us better with.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were saying Zombie World is better. I was like, oh.
No, Zombie World was much, much worse for the old knights.
Because we needed.
Because also our new arms don't need warriors either.
There can be only one is like just the worst.
Yeah, there can be only one sucks, but yeah.
Okay, so that was all of the Swiss rounds. We played 5 rounds, went 5-0. Then got to Top Cut and played against DDD, which
was a disaster.
By the start of round 4, we were the only team left undefeated. We were still undefeated by the end of round 5. We were sailing high, the very clear first seed going into the end. In Top Cut, and I regret to say I never got to play a Top Cut game.
And we were very confident too, because we talked about the matchup, because we expected it earlier.
Yeah,
during Christmas, and
we were a little too confident in that match. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, because Ocean Bricks, like Wired, rather, like, hands, I think, could have won the games that we played in. Like, didn't go as planned.
I think when it came to we'll talk about my game when it comes up. But
Yeah, let's bring it up. Like,
yeah.
All right.
That's right. At this point, we're gonna hit the length limit.
I think like losing the die roll was like a big thing here for me, unfortunately.
but like, you
My hand
opened
is good. My hand is
literally the
amazing.
god hand. This is
Yeah.
you opened the best hand to play second with.
And then just played poorly.
I don't think you played poorly.
don't
You
think-
you played very well, and then like I think you just made one little error that then like just meant he had an extra
Cascaded
card.
pretty badly.
Yeah. So can you call when that happens? Because
I really like you opened Kostanen without. He ends with like 3 ignites. He's got Savage, Siegfried, and Crystal Wing. Yeah, like I don't think you needed to go battle phase, but like I think you could have continued playing and begging through the rest of the stuff without going battle phase.
yeah.
Might actually open up because we did workshop this one afterwards.
Yeah, we saw it now, but the essence was we left him your opponent too much stuff. Like you played through the negates, but he still had a board.
Yeah, that was the big issue. But here, like, just went for like full Charles. I think
Yeah, I mean,
with one
to be clear,
monstrosity.
the guy passed ended on a bunch of negates. Like you played well, but I think we found that you could have played better. And he fucking top picking Kepler again.
Yeah. And then it was like from here, it was just a downhill slide because he came out with Quantum Dragon at the end, and then
Yes, that's
it was
stupid
just
Quantum Dragon.
there was nothing that I could do against that. Like,
Okay,
now-
you finish. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, it was like against the Quantum Dragon, it was just like there was nothing that I could really do.
So I actually didn't post my solution to that one, but like Falchion and Rabbit posted theirs, and like there were ways to play through that board, leaving him with nothing. I think Rabbit even OTK'd.
Of course, Rabbit OTK'd.
Of course he did.
Like,
I still can't figure out if Rabbit's an idiot or a genius.
So like there, we were looking at it, and we looked at the hand, and we were like, yeah, let's flex 9, let's see what happens. And we
The thing is, it would have been fine had you normal summoned the Ogier or the Oliver, not the Ogier.
are you
With
talking
your
about
extra
the
normal?
first game?
No, your second game.
Oh, the second game I won. Like
smoke
Wait.
grenaded with Artorigas, so you're gonna smoke grenade him twice. So like,
yeah. I think he saw the first smoke happening and just scooped after that.
Maybe it was the
And
third one. I
here
don't
was
remember.
where it got kind of bad for me. Like the opening hand.
Crush Sheep,
it
my
really,
god,
like-
Crush Sheep was good for them.
Yeah. Crush Sheep does work for him. I think it's the thing I forgot was that it's not when X monster is summoned, you get the effect based on the monster that was summoned. It's you get the effect based on the types of monsters that are summoned to, that it's pointing to. So when he synchroed on his turn, like, he got the res as well. And so he got a
You played-
from Satellite, and then he got the Savage out.
I think he played as well as he could against this one because like it was just way too many disrupts.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, then he had dropped that impermanence. Was it? It was Falk who ran into the impermanence on Gwen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to use Gwen, but it was impermanent
yeah.
in the zone.
And, like you guys played really well. It was just like both the games one little point that like differently would have won you the match.
Yeah. It's one of
Which I
those.
mean, it happens, and by this point, I think we had all gotten really used to our new builds too.
Yeah.
We were a little fatigued. We were trying to style with stuff we didn't really have access to in this deck.
The builds being different does change so much.
I should say as well, like, there was a lot of stuff which was going on with the tournament as well, which was taking a lot of time. And so we had rounds starting late. We had all sorts of issues with players not actually playing matches and questions for whether other teams had dropped out or not, which was skewing things. And so by the time we got to Top Cut, it was like, I'm not gonna like, I was relieved when we made it to Top Cut. We were playing through the final things.
Open up Voucher's match.
Yeah.
So just skimmed over the workshop we did on your hand afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it was a matter of like trying to play through his board more rather than going battle phase and in the customer.
Like, I remember the Custonin was something that was like, my brain was not working for it. I could not pick out the thing to do. So for Falchia's match here, we should say that they're recreating it because they had a disconnect.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was quite annoying.
Um,
So I'm using chat's replay here.
you can hit show both on the bottom left to show your hand as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so this is one where like
That's great.
yeah, but so like played well. Like you would have played the match. Just you obviously just slipped up and forgot the infinite was in the middle zone. When Gwenrevar got equipped in the middle zone, it would have negated her effects, which would have then dropped her off. You had to rewind back to then. Like if it had in any other zone, you're attacked into the Caesar, you just pop it with Custom, pop it with Gwenovar rather, Custom and the rest of his board away, and then you just full combo off, and he's got no other place. It's really just a matter of like those tiny little interactions in this deck you just forget about that. I know. I think it's very common to forget which Zone Infinite was activated because it's so commonly used as a hand trap, you forget it's got that second effect.
Yeah.
The problem here is that he activated Impermanence before the reconstruction. Then we did the reconstruction, and I had forgotten the zone
See?
of Impermanence. That's silly.
That happened. You probably could have just said, like, actually, like, I forgot which zone that was in. And I use a different zone. Alright, we're here now.
And this is game 2.
Because you disconnected again because someone likes to use their phone as a hotspot.
I don't know if it's Faust disconnecting, was it?
No, it was.
It was? Okay.
If you want to use your, like... Anyway, whatever.
Maybe Faust disconnected the first time and then he just maybe, I don't know. There were 2 disconnects.
Yeah, the second time, Dueling Book crashed.
That's right. It like locked up on you.
Yeah. I had full combo here. And my parent has Impermanence, which shouldn't matter.
Because you got the Renault on the field anyway to, So, like, he negates, it's fine. You've got Renault as a tuner. Just keep going.
If your parent has
It's great.
Ash, they're forced to negate Isolde. Or you just get Gearfried, and they can't use Ash anymore.
And it's great, too, because it means your opponent is down an extra card in hand. Like, Infinite is now just a dead card for him. He's now playing with 4 cards.
He scoops. He goes first in game 3. So
You can see that's
here
a-
is not great.
His hand is great.
Mine isn't. I've got O-Line, 2 traps. I suppose this is good.
Your hand is
Good
great
phrase.
going first.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it great, but it's perfectly fine.
If I had an equip, it would have been great.
Yeah.
You top the Lightning Storm, which is just, it baits the Siegfried. Yeah, but we can't always get perfect hands. Another thing as well, like, you've opened once again, whereas, like, we've now cut that down to 2. The odds of you opening in your opening hand is less now.
That was super unlucky.
I think, like, when it came down to it, we were against a really good team. They were there for a reason.
Yeah, no, DD earned their way to top cut for sure.
I think, actually, let me just take a look at the standings where they are.
I actually
Because,
played their Ratch.
I'm just taking a look at it now. No, DDD won against us, but they lost the top 4 against Adamancipator. And they lost 0-2 as well.
There's no shame in losing to Adamancipator.
Adamancipator as well, it's like they won against Cubics, which they had previously lost against, and they won 2-0 against them. So they're doing well for themselves.
One more replay, which is mine, which is, I think, similar to the Cubic one. I think, like, my opponent doesn't open too well. Let's go blur.
Like, this was the match that, like, we were all really excited to be on the table for. Like, we just wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, because you played last, so we had already lost. There was no like pressure to.
Another one where he disconnected and we had to rebuild the game state. You know, like, look at the board he ends in it. Fantastic. So he was in the middle of doing his combo, and then he disconnected, so we rebuilt it. So he ends on just Yuga. I'm like, okay. And then he negates Madrite. I'm like, that's fine. I've got Gearfried. Let me extend and play through it, as well as break his board. I think Gearfried was, at this point, both an extender and a board breaker. I summoned him to extend from Madrite being negated, broke his board with it, and then used him to make Isolde in full combo.
To Fibrax.
I remember here it was like, we didn't go, well, you didn't go for the smoke grenade because he's got no hand, but we were having a conversation about which thing was best to hit.
So I went with Joyous and Ult Glare, so I had the option to, like, pop stuff. I had once again in Graveyard as well to summon Bedware. Bedware can equip Ultlayer to stuff to pop stuff.
What's funny is, I mean, if I were in that situation, I would have still gotten Grenade so I could hit it before they like get to play a card.
What I ended up doing was I used Charlemagne's pop to pop my own monster equipped with Joyous, since I'm the Gearfried from my hand. I drew Call by the Grave to negate the Gearfried, to banish the Gearfried in my graveyard. I was going to negate the Cross Sheep and stop him from building such a big board. Actually, at first I was like, I should pop like something, and Fausch kept yelling at me like, no, pop, like, don't do that. I was like, how about I negate the Cross Sheep? Actually, really good with like good calls and stuff, like the right thing to pop and whatever.
Yeah.
And that was a game where like he made the Quantum Dragon my board. Didn't matter though because I had so much stuff.
Like the first game, it was a case of like he opened well and he got his stuff off. I think this was actually also the only match where all of us lost the die roll.
This one here, you can see like I'm using High Limestone to equip RVD2 to just pop all his set cards. Like he's obviously bricked and open really bad, but like the fact that I can do that to break his board is really neat. I'm playing to the Ash. Ash is the Easel, doesn't matter, so I've got a tuner. Some damage. Like he'd actually, I think he does come back a little bit from this because he's got the Necro Swirl and the Mia. He opens the gets the Kepler.
Top decks it.
Top deck Kepler.
So I pop it, but he's still got like 5 racks and actually for Necro Slime. Yeah, he does the same thing. He quantums to break my board, but it's gonna matter. The next turn, look like I think I even get once again set up, but like just because of the searches from Roland and Isolde, like this next turn I have so much to do. If it negates Matrite, I just got Olivia and Gearfried and...
I think it was at this point where I was saying to you, like, just end it. Just finish the game. You've got enough.
I think you reminded me he wasn't at 8k, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we did.
match.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, little mistakes in the DD match maybe didn't go into the top 4, but we still played really well. Defeated in Swiss is great, and it's just like so excited about this deck now and like what we can do with it.
I definitely think we left an impression on folks.
Yeah.
What I can say is, like, for some of the other Discords that I'm a part of and I was looking at, there was just, like, this continual line that kept popping up here or there where they were talking about the standings and who's doing well, and it's like, and how are Noble Knights in the top, and how are they doing this? I was just
How are they still undefeated?
yeah, and, like, we powered through, and then we had that one guy, like, at the end of Top Cut, at the end of the Swiss, was complaining about us using the legal cards for it and everything. I think there was a lot of people out there who weren't aware that we were using the Infernobles, and I think where the OCG and all the YouTubers have been circulating those Infernoble tier 0 decks and everything, we just came out with this, and they didn't know what to do against us.
Definitely, and I think it's because like you go onto YouTube and you see a lot of different things, so when you go into the actual matchup and you see Matrite summoned, and you're like, okay, now what do I hand trap? Because he's going for Matrite, but he's got Isolde, but I know they play Needle Fiber, you know?
Right. So we've talked a lot about how the decks, how we change the list. Why don't we pull up a new list and talk about what the changes that have made and why we made them?
I think we linked a few of them here. I think we've got your
Alex. I know I posted my current list.
Yeah, can you put your lists in the group chat and I'll open them up?
I posted mine like 10 minutes ago.
think
They're all here. Yeah.
I think mine is probably like the least changed. Like it's got a few technicalities here or there.
That's mine.
Like,
Oh my god,
that's mine.
dude, you have got to learn to sort your blood.
So explain what you changed, Wyatt.
So I think like one of the big things that I changed that I was really hesitant to at first was dropping Launcelin from the main deck. Like,
Okay.
That card has come in such handy. You can see we've got 3 Ogia now. I've only got the 1 Shade, and that's been painful. I really want that at 3, but I just
There's no space.
Yeah, and like I know Falsh is playing 3 Astolfo, and I've been experimenting with 1 at the moment, and it's
That's
up.
been a pretty big change.
Yeah,
The biggest change has been like when we first looked at these cards, we went, Stolfo seems garbage, once per duel, and then like later, Falch was like it's you're going second actually, and like
It's because it's a level 4 named extender. That's the thing.
Like-
yeah,
like it's like we looked at the card, and went, it's garbage, once per duel, and then like later, Falch was like, you guys know it can become like a different level, and it can also banish from hand. Oh, okay, it's a bit better actually.
yeah. And I think it's like my deck is probably the least drastically changed. Like we already talked about dropping the trap down to 2 and all of that good stuff, but by and large, it plays pretty much exactly the same.
This list is basically the same as Alex's, isn't it?
I think it is actually. You don't know if you don't mind.
It looks the same as Alex's to me.
That's above his. It is, yeah.
Just
Ah, well,
Alex sort
There is one difference. I've got Bedwear. I'm using Bedwear because it used to be like Drustin was the best thing to summon off once again because he protected Isolde and you saw drop to him, he pops off. Bedwear is kind of good because you can summon him and then move the Noble Arms you've equipped from Charlemagne or whatever.
What are you running instead of Bedwear?
Third Brothers.
Go with your brothers. Okay.
Yeah, I've got the Third Brothers.
Bedwear is good as a utility option to summon and just get more disrupts because if you summon him, because the for Noble Arms can equip to any monster, you can use Bedwear to equip Alt Clear to their monster. If they link or synchro away with it, you get a pop with Alt Clear. You can use Joyous and summon like a Gear Free from hand, so like that's why I'm playing that over. Like the brothers, most of us cut it 2 because of the Xeno lock gets away from the Firebrax combo, so it's kind of like you want to see stronger normal summons like OJ or
It also locks off Godfrey.
exactly.
Yeah.
Custodian is the most forgivable one. It only locks the extra deck, so we can 3 Warriors and still get Godfrey.
And
Yeah.
Custodin's also got an errata at some point, hopefully, please.
Yep.
So
Please Konami TCG reprint and Turn Chaos.
Please. And pull up my list real quick. See, I want to point something out. Should be the next one up actually. So this is my list, and you'll notice compared to Alex and White, it's basically the same, except I've dropped Hector for a step, and I kept Shaded too. So I dropped Hector for Astolfo and other. So the point I want to make here, you look at all 3 of these lists, and there's 1 card difference between each of them. We have more or less standardized the deck at this point.
I think what's interesting as well is like going into this tournament, we had like we had the exact same extra deck and by and large the same main deck, and we'd all kind of developed that independently, just like information we'd all been putting out there. And this is like the same sort of thing for us as well, where through the tournament we were discussing more things. We had more people weighing in. I think like the Rabbit gave us a lot of good info here and there.
Like just developed more combos as we tested it more. Like did you know think of the OJ combo? We had Falch been like, hey, Astolfo can be made custom, and we've got so many variations on how to do the core combos now as well. Like the Firebrax combo, but also you can do it this way. There's a 3 Warriors combo, but you can also do it with lower 5s instead. Like there's still like common things we've all dropped. Like we all dropped Little Roland because it's like it's all the little utility options we've dropped. Like we've dropped Blind Sun in the main deck because it's like no kind of does the same thing of searching equip spells. Little Roland, so it's like the utility he offers is kind of niche.
I feel like, honestly, for myself, I've been wanting to get Little Roland back in there somehow because I really do like the Smoke Grenade in draw phase.
That's kind of the thing. It's like I want to put Little Roland in for that. I want to put Blind Sun in for searching equips. I want Yvonne.
I want Hector back
So
so badly.
Not back because he's just a cool bloke.
And so, like, we've all kind of come to a very similar deck list now. But hey, Falsh, have you got yours?
Yeah, this is mine here.
Oh god. We say as we pull up the guy who never,
It's the maniac running 3 Astolfo.
I really like the deck name Astolfo.
Even in the classic Night era, when the rest of us have been on 60 cards for a while, Val, you run what, 47 cards?
Yeah. 47 with extravagance.
Yeah,
What a champion! What a legend!
Almost the heretic and still showing us what's done.
yeah. Like, he's
Um,
been having a different opinion from us for a long time, and it's still been like getting really solid results for everything.
Didn't we
Yo,
have a
Felch,
strong-
do you want to talk about the 3S Stelfo, actually, and just elaborate on
Yeah. So, obviously this card is for making Kustonen. Because going second, it can go through 2 disrupts by attacking and bouncing. And this makes it if you banish level 4. So it actually buffs Isolde a bit. If you search level 4 with it, you can banish the level 4 to summon a Stelfo. Usually, well, I'll explain why I play 3. I play 3 because I want to open it in my hand. So the very first thing I do is summon Kustonen when I have this card. I never want to search it. I'd rather search Urgia, I'd rather search Oliver or Renaud instead of Astolfo. So if I play 1, then it doesn't make much sense. Like,
Yeah, like I see what you mean. Like it's like the searches you want from Durendal are better. You want the assault in your hand to play through stuff going second.
and as well, if you search it with Durendal, then they know you have it, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to let you make the Kustonen if they know you have Astolfo in hand.
And
Yes.
I think like the main reason why I've not been playing 3 of them is because its effect is like that once per duel, and I don't really want to have to deal with the dead cards. But what I'm considering as well is like, if you have it in hand, then it's just a free discard for Olivier as well. Like, he just sends a Fire Warrior and gets himself on the field, and if you've already used a Swallow, you've already got something set up.
Something I have noticed is that the once per duel does not matter. Like, it just doesn't matter. It might as well just not have it there.
A lot of duels are decided by that first turn. Like
Yeah, because like all the point of it is just to make a Kustonen on the first turn, and once you've done that, you can break their board and you win.
But the things you've cut down on to fit that third copy.
That's true.
he's cut down on like, more utility stuff like Bedwear and Nectar. Lionson rather. So like I think we've got the extenders and starters kind of set. Like it's all the utility cards we've got to play with, like Bedwear, Gorhavard, more Sulfos and what. Like he's reduced his utility of his deck but increased consistency certain things. That's kind of the thing. Like that's always been the eternal problem we've had. We've had like consistency.
He dropped in arms. He dropped Destiny.
It's okay. Like Destiny has become like gone from like one of the best noble arms to one of the worst now because OJ just like covers
Oh
it.
yeah, I agree.
Also,
Like it has dropped the utility of like glory into Destiny to protect against like tech negation or Ghost Ogre or whatnot.
yeah, but Horticlair has replaced that. If your opponent's trying to attack a dude, you do Glory into Horticlair, they beat over your guy, and you pop their card.
Yeah.
Instead of just protecting it.
It is just it's that again. Like you've traded some utility for more consistency.
Bricks. So something I did notice was that you switched out Red Layer for Die. And just for people, would you like to just elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned this earlier. Even at the time the tournament started, I still felt that Dai was the better card. But finding space, because Dai takes up 4 slots, you need Vanilla Arthur versus Red Layer taking 3 slots. And at the time, I wasn't really ready to cut a lot of the stuff we would later find, because a lot of the stuff just leaves the deck. So the thing between the two, a lot of people feel, if they are not that familiar with the deck, that Red Layer is the better one, because it directly synergizes with the ones that want Fire Warriors. But what you have to consider, Red Layer is only a summon for a soul. That's all you're going to do with it. Whereas Dai into Arthur, it can be used for soul, but it can also be used for Kustonen going second, like we were talking about with Astolfo. Dai synergizes with Gawain the same way Layer does with Renault, but Renault will also synergize with Godfrey and Oliver, stuff like or Ogier, all of which are cards you're likely to summon in that turn. And you have to look at it, okay, if I assume I will see Ogier plus Layer, or Renault plus Layer, about the same number of times as I would see Gawain plus Dai, well, anytime I have Renault plus Layer, that is only an Assault. It's an Assault, which is good, But die plus Gawain can be an assault or a cutscene, so it's more adaptable to what you need for the situation.
Also, fuel stuff like Ector, it means you can use Glory rather than... Because Glory only works on Noble Knights, so like being Leia plus Glory is just no good. There's so much we need to talk about these decks. Like we intend to with this channel to like start putting more stuff out to the right audience.
They won't all be 2.5 hour rants. Sometimes we'll do like guides, discussing how we play hands, stuff like that.
Videos to be like, this is how we went in the tournament and how we developed our stuff. We'll have more stuff that explains. Because we've mentioned like, oh, we did a 3 Warriors path here, or we did 5 racks here. Like that means nothing to nobody just watching this video. All be explained in due time. Or you can join my Discord.
Is there anything you guys want to say just to, with the wrap-ups? Anything you wanted to mention? Any shout-outs?
Shout out to like the entirety of the Noble Knight Discord, who like really one of the best online communities I've ever been into, and like if you want to build this and play this deck, definitely join. It was so great to, like when we we'd start a match and be like, hey guys, we're playing a tournament match, and it's like so many guys would spectate and like support us and just so awesome.
I think one of the teams commented that we had brought something like 20 spectators into the match.
I think that was actually for one of the Mermel games as well.
Yeah.
And
where are all the knights coming from?
I think like shout out to the people we played against as well through this tournament that actually came to check out the Discord pretty much immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
And were just really chill about everything.
And, like our opponents have been really cool guys.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, thank you all for sitting through this long video. Again, join the Discord as we put most of our guides, our content, our combos, everything goes through the Discord. Thank you for watching. Stay epic.
Stay epic.